Hey, I get eager staring at a wall of projector specs and wondering if you're about to spend a fortune on something that will just sit gathering dust. I was in the same spot last month, trying to figure out if an ultra-short-throw laser projector could actually replace my bulky TV for movie nights and weekend gaming sessions. Before you click Add to Cart, let me walk you through what I discovered, the moments where this thing shines, and the ones where it might leave you wishing you'd gone a different route. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question people have with any projector is where it actually belongs in the room. The Epson Lifestudio Grand Plus is an ultra-short-throw laser model, meaning you can set it almost flush against the wall and still get a 100-inch image without the need for a long throw distance. In my apartment, the living room is about 8 feet deep, and I was able to place the unit on a low console just a few inches from the wall. The picture filled the wall edge to edge, and I didn't have to worry about a stray beam hitting someone walking by. That convenience factor is the core of its value proposition: no ceiling mounts, no long cables stretched across the floor, just a sleek box that looks more like a piece of modern art than a piece of equipment. Brightness is another practical concern. Epson rates it at 4,000 lumens combined for color and white, which translates to a screen you can actually see in a well-lit living room without pulling every curtain shut. I tested it during a family dinner with the kitchen lights on, and the image stayed crisp enough for everyone to follow the plot, even with a few kids darting around. That level of brightness also means you don't have to invest in a dedicated blackout room if you want to keep the space multifunctional. The 3-chip 3 LCD engine does a good job maintaining color accuracy, so sports fans will see the greens of the field and the reds of the jerseys without the washed-out look you sometimes get from single-chip DLP units. Now, let's talk about the 4K display technology claim. Epson isn't pushing a native 4K panel. Instead, it uses pixel shifting to simulate a 4K experience. In practice, the image looks incredibly detailed when you sit a typical viewing distance away, around 810 feet for a 100-inch screen. I compared a 4K Netflix title side by side with a regular 1080p Blu-ray, and the difference was noticeable but not earth-shattering. If you're a cinephile who obsesses over every pixel, you might feel a pang of disappointment compared to a true 4K projector. However, for most home theater viewers, the perceived sharpness combined with the high brightness makes the experience feel like genuine 4K. Audio is often the silent killer in projector setups because people end up adding external speakers, which defeats the all-in-one vibe. Epson partnered with Bose for the built-in sound system, delivering a richer bass response and clearer mids than you'd expect from a projector's speaker array. In a quiet room, I could hear dialogue without cranking the volume, and the bass gave enough punch for action scenes without overwhelming the space. Still, it's not a substitute for a dedicated sound system if you're aiming for a home theater experience. The Bose integration is a nice boost, but expect to add a soundbar or a surround setup if you want that cinematic rumble. One of the biggest selling points for the Grand Plus is its built-in Google TV platform. It's essentially a smart TV in projector form: 3 HDMI ports, ALLM, auto low latency mode, for gaming, and a responsive interface for streaming apps. I hooked up my PlayStation 5, and the ALLM automatically switched the projector to a low latency mode, which kept input lag down to a level that felt indistinguishable from a TV. That makes the unit a solid choice for gamers who want a big screen experience without juggling extra hardware. The Google TV UI was smooth, and switching between Netflix, YouTube, and the console was just a click away on the remote. So, who should actually consider buying this? If you have a medium-sized living room or a dedicated home office space where you want a massive display without the hassle of ceiling mounts, this projector fits nicely. It's also great for families that need a flexible setup: watch a movie, then push the console aside for a gaming session, all without rewiring. The combination of high brightness, decent color fidelity, and integrated audio means you can keep the space tidy and still enjoy an immersive experience. And because it's laser-based, you won't have to replace bulbs for years, which is a long-term cost saver. On the flip side, if you live in a tiny apartment with limited wall space, the ultra-short throw design might still require a bit more depth than you can afford. The unit sits a few inches from the wall, but you still need a low console or table, and you'll have to manage heat dissipation. Epson's laser engine does get warm, so make sure the placement allows for airflow. Also, if you're a pixel purist,